Welcome back to Crowdfunding Countdown, where we're going to take a look at every single board game campaign finishing up in the next week. And I'm excited. I don't think I should be excited. I think there are a lot of $1 pre-pledges that we're not going to cover this week, and I'm not sure if it's going to be good or not, but that's why we're here. The people have spoken, no curating. We're going to take a look at every single thing and see if we can find some diamonds in the rough. And speaking of diamonds in the rough and curating your personal clothing collection, this episode is sponsored by Into the AM, my absolute favorite clothing company of all time. Into the AM! Into the AM! Well, I hope they let me do that. Hey, you can unlock 20% off your order if you go to their website. Right now, they've got buy two get one free packs. They always have decent deals, and they have come back with some of their favorites. They're reprinting some of their favorites. I guess I should have worn their graphic tees, but I've tried a variety of stuff from their website, and everything I have tried is amazing. And my friend Billy, I saw at Breakout Con the other week, and he came up to me and he said, listen, off the record, are Into the AM clothes as good as you say they are? And I'm like, Billy, I'm putting this conversation on the record because yes, they are. Yes, they absolutely are. He's like, well, because you talk about them a lot. I said, yeah, I know. They're amazing. Unfortunately, I was wearing my WSBG shirt at that time, so I couldn't get him to feel me all over. But I would. Again, I recommend all of their stuff. Their all-day pants are nice, stretchy. I love their graphic tees, great quality. And I love their Henleys specifically. Their Henleys are so soft. And this is their flannel. This is a flannel one that I'm wearing right now, and also very soft. Although I'm generally a medium in the t-shirt department. I go between medium and large, and I would opt for a large next time I get a button-up flannel shirt, even though they're button-up like these shirts. They're button-up like short-sleeve shirts. I would go for medium. So it's always dependent. I think flannel is sort of the outlier of their sizes. I probably just want a little bit more room because of the material, but all of their material is so good. Let's look at their best sellers right now. Oh yeah, their jeans. I just got their jeans. I haven't taken them off yet. They've fused to my body. Their branded tees. This, I think I'm on the Canadian site right now. So if you're in the US, everything is cheaper. If you're in Canada, still highly recommend. Just make sure you watch the shipping and the import fees. And sometimes you can juggle things around on the site to get, ooh, Daybreak Performance Jacket. Oh, it's cheap. It's on sale. Nice. I also was talking to my parents, and they were like, yeah, we were watching and seeing that you were getting excited about the AM stuff. Like, do you want us to get you something? And I was like, I have replaced my whole wardrobe from them, but I'm always excited to try their new stuff. So I actively talk about Into the AM when I'm not on air, when they're not sponsoring me or sending me clothes. And you know what? I don't even care if they send me clothes or not, if they give me money or not. I don't care. I love the company. I think it's so good. It always gets me so excited when people buy it and when people enjoy it. So if you're looking to refresh your wardrobe, you can check out their best sellers. Or what I always do too is just check out their sale tab. They always have great sales on some of the stuff that they're rotating in, like the button up. Oh wow, that's a great price, $37. Yeah, these are really comfy. They're like a little stretchier too, which is great. Well, that's a fun one. The Cosmic Cocktail Tee. I should get that for Matt Laca. Yeah, I need to try their polos. I want to try their shorts. One day I will own every single item of clothing from their website. It's incredible how many shirts and stuff I own from Into the AM, and now you can too. So thanks so much to Into the AM for sponsoring this episode and supporting the channel. It's great. I love getting clothes from them, and I love when they send me things just for talking about them. Beautiful. Brilliant. What a day. Oh my goodness. And I can't believe it. I almost forgot to tell you to use the code SLIPPERYJIM to save yourself 10% off your order. That's right, my own personal code that I got to make up myself. Slippery Jim saves you 10%, and you can often use it in conjunction with other deals as well. So try it out at checkout. If it doesn't work and you save money doing something else, great. I don't care. I care about you getting great, deliciously succulent clothing that's comfy and makes you feel good. But you can use that code for an additional 10% off. So thanks to Into the AM for letting me use the code SLIPPERYJIM. Oh, it brings me joy every single time I talk about it. I also want to give a shout out to all my patrons. We don't have any new patrons this week, so I'm going to shout out existing patrons, people who have renewed on I mean, it renews automatically, but you haven't canceled yet, and I appreciate you a bunch. So shout out goes to Alka Influence. Shout out goes out to you. I'm happy to shout out people who want shout outs. Let me know if you do. I don't know, I appreciate my Patreon community. You are all, like, so nice, so generous. The generosity and the kindness of the board gaming community is unmatched, and I think it's important to start out by thanking everybody for this show being able to continue. And if you're bored and you're like, why doesn't he just get to the games? Well, too bad. I love my patrons. And I think it's important to thank the people who help make this show continue week after week after week after week after week. And the additional stuff too, which I'm excited. I got some stuff coming out. Myself and Zach have been playing through Iridia, so we filmed a bunch. I'll have to figure out a release schedule for that one, because I don't want to make it all Iridia. Anyway, we're going to go into the week. Starting off, this finishes today. I don't think I covered it last week. I'm not sure why. Maybe I just got the date wrong. But if you're looking for an organizer, I know some people have used wine bottle racks to organize their playmats. If you have a bunch of playmats, I luckily don't have many playmats. I have one playmat, soon to be two playmats. And that's good. I'm good on the playmat situation. But if you have a ton, if you have a bunch of custom playmats, if you like that, and you don't have a way of organizing, this finishes on GameFound today, and you can help yourself organize those. The Organizer, which is pretty fun. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Oh, one thing I did want to talk about. This isn't anything. This is me, I guess, sharing about my life. But also, make sure if you have a computer, don't forget to back it up. Because the cosmic rays can hit your SSD drive, and I mean, I guess it's just an SSD because it's a solid state drive. It's not an SSD drive, right? Anyway, my computer exploded and I lost everything. So that's not good. But luckily, this is my streaming computer. This is my filming computer, and I just lost a bunch of presets that I have spent a long time trying to rebuild. The only other thing I thought, I was very lucky because I transferred off a lot of the filming of Iridia just by happenstance. Usually I leave it on the computer and then transfer it over when I'm ready to edit it. So I didn't lose any filming, because that would have been devastating, especially with the discovery of Iridia. I would have been really sad to have lost that. So I just lost a bunch of stuff, which takes time to recreate. Oh, I think I also lost, I don't know if I was ever going to post them, but I filmed a couple games of Avalon 2-3 years ago, because I thought it would be fun, and it was kind of jumbled, and didn't really film that well. But maybe they would have been released at some point, but now they won't. Anyway, this is just me saying, I know it's annoying to do, and I know it's it'll never happen, but really save yourself the trouble. Get a hard drive, back it up right now, or do the cloud thing. I don't know, just do a backup for your stuff. It'll save you time in the long run. This is my little PSA. Okay, we're on to, that's not what we're on to, 8 days. This is a campaign preview. How'd I get there? Probably was just clicking willy-nilly. Organizer. So Organizer, that finishes today, the 26th. Is that really today? No, today's the 23rd. So it finishes the 26th. Oh, that's not Tuesday at all. That's Wednesday. Oh, it is Wednesday, because this is Thursday. This is Thursday, March 27th. So this finishes Wednesday. That's why I didn't cover it. Aha. That finishes Wednesday, the 26th at 6:59 p.m. If you're interested, you can get some of those organizers. Next up, we're unfortunately not covering Cannibal World. Not interested in covering Cannibal World because it falls in the $1 pre-pledge. For those of you who don't know, a lot of campaigns decide to charge $1 in advance. This was kind of pioneered by a marketing company called Launch Boom. Oh, I should shout out Crowdfunding. I'll shout those guys out later. When my episode comes out, I'll shout them out. It'll be next week. I've done too many shout outs. We got to stay on task. But it was pioneered by a company called Launch Boom, and they had a whole article about how to manipulate your backers using psychological tricks. I think that was the title. Which they since have changed the language. They're like, really? That was bad language? Oh, okay, we'll make it so it's less skeezy language, even though that's what we really feel. Anyway, so a lot of companies use this $1 pre-pledge to, the idea is to see who is going to purchase, and it's more reliable than people just signing up for the follow, because you can say, oh, these people are donating $1, they probably will purchase, but oftentimes they're donating $1 when they have no information about the game. They're just donating $1 because they give some sort of fake made up $10 savings incentive that then you're already bought in. You've bought in on multiple levels so that you're more inclined to purchase when the Kickstarter comes around. But if you are worried, don't worry. The creator of Cannibal World looked it up in ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said they weren't psychological tricks, so they must not be. That was an interaction that one of my backers had. So unfortunately, we're not covering that. Also, unfortunately, sorry, Gray, we're not covering this either. And this is directly the proof that, I don't know, the $1 lost you my sale. I would have purchased this game. I played it at Dice Tower West. I thought it was fun. But unfortunately, I'm not giving it any coverage because it did the $1 pre-pledge. And that's too bad, because I would have bought it, as would have many people in my Discord. I guaranteed. But not going to happen. It's easy, and that's great. It was going to be too much shipping anyway. The conversion was going to be too much. I wasn't looking forward to backing it, but I was going to do it out of support. But now I don't have to, so that's great. There are so many games. There's so many games out there. If you miss one, you're okay. And we had this discussion in the Discord too. I swear we're going to get into the real games in a second. This is just a more diatribe. I'll make sure the ads don't come for another, we'll start now as the start of the episode. But this was a conversation that we were having in the Discord about filtering things out. And I think it is very great to just arbitrarily decide on reasons to filter things out. Somebody was like, yeah, I don't like the name Quaxaquedlinburg, never playing it. I was like, sure, you know what? There are tons of games out there. You're missing out because Quax is a very fun push your luck game, but there will be other games, right? The idea of missing out and needing to try everything, and especially in this crowdfunding breakdown, we've been doing this for 178 episodes. Over 3 years we've been doing this, nearing 4. And there is that idea of there's so much stuff, right? We've covered over 2,700 games. I don't think I've played 2,700 games in my lifetime. I'm probably close. I'm probably at like 2,000, maybe between 1,500 and 2,000 would be my guess. And I'm probably bumping up those numbers so I seem cooler. Of different games, right? Of different games that I've played. But I've read through and we've looked at all these campaigns, and that's if you played one game a year, one game a day, for 6 years, you still wouldn't hit 2,700 games. Think about that, right? Only get the games that you're super excited about. It's okay to filter things out. You don't have to support every single company. You want to support the things that bring you joy. You want to support the things that you want to see continue. And those will be the games that will get to the table. So stop adding to your shelf of shame. Even if things look good, remember those other things look good, and then they arrived at your door and you went, eh. Anyway, we're going to look at this. We're going to look at Black Orchestra Resistance Expansion and Valkyrie Standalone Game. So Black Orchestra is a game that I've played. It is where you can take down Hitler, which is great in today's times. A message we always need to remind ourselves that Nazis are bad. Surprisingly, we need to continue to remind ourselves of that. It's weird. It's weird how those things work. But yeah, Nazis aren't good. And if you're a Nazi and you're watching, stop it. Stop being one. So I'm going to take a look. Anyway, it's a fun cooperative game. It's a fairly challenging one. You have to go and sneak in and gather intelligence from all of like Hitler's generals, and then eventually find out where Hitler is, and then eventually kill him. So let's see what the Resistance expansion adds. Again, with these sort of expansions, the game is well reviewed. If you haven't played the game, you can probably get it readily available at retail. So I'm going to look just briefly as to what the Resistance expansion adds, and then we're going to check out this Valkyrie, which looks like a smaller version. It looks like a pared down map and might be better for some people. So let's see what it's offering. Cool. I like that. This is probably my favorite expansion. This is my favorite type of expansion because it just adds additional stuff to your game. Little modules that are going to tweak the game in a significant way. That seems neat. One that's going to give you one-time abilities that you activate. One that's going to make things a little bit more difficult. Great. I think fans of Black Orchestra, judging by that, should consider getting this. If you've been playing Black Orchestra a lot and you wanted additional depth, I think this is absolutely the right call. I think if you've never played Black Orchestra before, don't need it. It's a good game on its own. Let's see what this Valkyrie video is like, and then I'll read the rulebooks if they're there. Just 30 minutes. Wow. Cool. A 30-minute version of Black Orchestra. That's really interesting. I mean, depending upon how well you do, it might already be a 30-minute plot against Hitler. Hopefully you do better than I generally have done in this game. I don't think I've ever won this game. And I think that's a great thing. I've played it once, twice? I think twice. Then Valkyrie standalone. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to check out the rulebook. Oh, only 2 pages? Wow. That's it, eh? Yeah, it's very, very quick. I guess if you want the theme and you don't have enough time to play it, that's fine. There's a lot of, smaller versions of games that exist out there. And generally, my thoughts on those is I always wish I was playing the bigger main version. I've never met a game which had a small pared down version of itself that I thought, just for me personally, that I thought, yeah, I want this instead of the main one. I'm trying to think if there was. No, Agricola and Caverna way prefer the better ones. Everdell Duo, there should be a review for that coming out soon, but also, prefer main Everdell because it's my top. Azul Duel, review of that will be coming out soon. Also similar. I feel like I've been picking apart the roll and write versions of so many games. Also just prefer the main game. Although I haven't played Dinosaur Island before, but Dinosaur Island Roar and Write is amazing. So maybe that's the exception to the rule. But this is very easy. You roll 3 dice and keep the result, or spend a reroll token. If you do, you have to roll all 3 dice again, so you can't lock any dice. You're hoping not to hit the interrogation. You're hoping to be able to take actions, which will allow you to move around to a certain location, collect items that you need to place upon evil people so that you can explode their coffee and explode their car and explode their pizza. You get a chance to re-roll your bad stuff, but you could also roll more bad stuff. They'll interrogate you if you're sharing a space with the bad people as you build up your stats to eventually take out Hitler. Seems fine. It seems like it does capture that theme and that feeling, and I think it is neat. I'm intrigued by this one more than I normally am. The Resistance is only $29, that's great, and Valkyrie's only $29. You can get them both together for $58. $29 feels really good. So it's $42 Canadian, and then shipping is going to be $18 to Canada, $10 to the US. $39 for like a pared down version does seem fairly nice. You could just get the second edition for $35? That's it? Whoa, that's a great price. That's a really good price, even if you're not interested in the main game. I want to check 401 Games and see how much you are. Yeah, it's sold out, and it was like $64. So even after shipping, if you're interested in getting this, like because of the discounts and because of the conversion, even with our dollar being horrible right now, you're still getting this at a discounted price. That's a really good price for it. Okay, yeah, way to go, Black Orchestra. And then I could see how you would upsell yourself at that point, right? You definitely don't need both, though. I feel if you want a little bit more robust experience, go with Black Orchestra. If you want that pared down version to try, sure, go with Valkyrie. If you think 30 minutes is all you can spend thinking about Hitler, well, that's more than most people, and that's okay. Yeah, that's great. If that's quite a good price for it, and that's surprising to me because on Kickstarter and crowdfunding and GameFound, you rarely get good prices anymore. Oh, and that's awesome. They're just adding in, you can add in any of some additional games as well. Exo World Survival, Healthy Heart Hospital, War Whispers, and get a small discount, not as significant a discount on this, but going from 60 to 35, that's really nice. Again, I wouldn't go for this Everything Black Orchestra for 150. I don't think you'd really need to, but especially if you're used to Kickstarter prices and crowdfunding prices nowadays, you're like, yeah, $100 is what I spend, so I might as well get everything. I can see you talking yourself into it. I would just go for base Black Orchestra, even with what I've seen. Me personally, that's what I would be interested in. But if you're interested in any of that, check it out. That finishes on the 27th. That's Thursday at 11:59 p.m. Okay, let's move along to the Great Harbor. Draft and send dice workers to the harbor, expand your colony, construct ships, and trade across the Mediterranean and engage the pirates. Let's check it out. Arcona Games. 12 created. What else have you created? Oh, they created Philharmonics, which used $1 pre-pledge. So they didn't use it this time. Good for them. Then they did Pest, which I heard was just fine. Small Samurai. Yeah, I remember that one. Okay, they've done a bunch of stuff. This one isn't doing well compared to all their other stuff. Like Pest blew it out of the water. But here if you just want to support the company for not doing a pre-pledge, well, check it out. Let's see what this one's about. Did I not switch back for... well, I'll put myself in the corner and I'll put some pictures up of black. Alright, you're going to draft and send dice workers to the great harbor of Carthage. Construct mighty merchant ships and send them on trading missions in the Mediterranean. Build infrastructure to expand your Roman colony. Hire special people to increase your economy and influence and battle the pirates of the seas. You're going to do all of that just with a few little dice? How amazing. What a day. Dice drafting, worker placement, engine building, push your luck. Sure. 60 to 90 minutes, 2 to 4 players. $49 US. Sure. I mean, that always translates to $100 Canadian after, after shipping. But still, I like that as a price. That's great for this big old Euro-y style game. Or you can get the metal coins with a few wooden stuff. Yeah, a few wooden stuff. That's what it is. Learn more about Magna Roma here. Why do I care about Magna Roma? What? That's a different game. Ren's Roman tile placement. Why do I? Oh, because you get it in the console pledge. I'm caught up now. Yeah. Why back now? Who cares? Discounted prices. Sure. How to play. Dice drafting or worker placement. Your dice are your workers. 5 rounds, 2 turns per round. Draft 2 dice each turn. If you have the lowest total, you go first. Okay. Higher dice get you more resources, but lower dice equal better placement control. So you get your choice of spots and can block the higher dice. I'd probably always go for higher dice anyway. Edge dice and smuggling. Well, I know some people who might be interested, living on the edge of Georgia. My favorite group of edgers out there. Will another game top this amount of edging? I don't think so. Edge dice placements reduce the tile output. Naturally, it reduces the output. That's the whole purpose of it. But you can mitigate it with a higher dice or smuggler token to cancel the blocking dice. Okay, cool. Splitting dice into pips. Place a die between 2 tiles to split its pip and gain the benefit of both tiles. I like that. See, that's the interesting part. There we go. Regular dice worker placement is also interesting, but here, if you can split them off, that's exciting. And also makes higher dice mean more. So it might just be, hey, take the higher dice. But if they say that you get blocked, do you get to place both of your dice in a turn? Then I will believe the blocking more. You can develop your country, use resources to construct insulae, expanding your population capacity, play a card from your hand, ship cards, let you send people access different spots, people cards, have abilities, building cards, give you points, send ships on trade missions. They're giving a lot of information in this breakdown, probably too much information for the average person, but I appreciate it, since I'm below average in intelligence, but above average in interest. Hey! Oh, I was editing the Iridia playthroughs, and I just saw so many mistakes, just tactical mistakes, rules errors that we figured out later on down the line. Again, probably because we relied too much on the quick start and should have read through the rulebook just fully. I could, if you want to know that I'm a dumb idiot baby, well, you can watch those when they come out. They'll never come out. I'll just keep talking about them. Great, you reveal pirate cards. I don't think that's interesting. There must be a way to boost your strength as well. Your ships do a bunch of stuff. That's what this is saying. Your ships have a bunch of different stats. They will help you trade. They'll help you fight pirates, carry a number of things. You can continue the voyage, but the pirates come back. They get their buddies. So if you've built up your ship strength, you can say, hit me, hit me, hit me, to the pirates. And then the pirates will hit you. And there's also a Senate track. Look at this. Play cards of different colors to advance in the 4 Senate tracks, getting bonuses. That seems fine. You'll get bonuses on top of your bonuses. Easy. Boost dice strength so you can get favors. Rules. Yes, please. Great Harbor. Draft rules. I mean, I think all the other elements seem fine at what they're putting together. Nothing gets me actively excited. The thing that gets me actively excited are these dice placement spots. So I assume with a 2-player, there's going to be dummy spots filled, or it's a different board. Just says it's 1 map board. Oh, so you build it out in a different way, I assume. There's the district tile. So I assume you would just set up, oh no, shuffle the remaining 8 districts, 12 dice, 3 of each color, 4 of each color, 20 dice. So you have a lot of dice to choose from then. Oh, from the dice bag. I'm jumping to conclusions, and the conclusions are not connecting with what I am intuiting, so that means I need to read on. Okay, so you just have not a guaranteed amount of the color, so that's what the bag is for, and then you will refresh when you need to. Ah, I see. And the dice placements, they have a color around them And so either of the colors can be placed in that spot. Neat. So it gives another restriction on the dice. And what do the tiles let you do? Just all gain resources. Gain a sail, a metal, a colonist, a plank, a rope, a favor token. Remember, favors are flexible stuff. Draw buildings, draw people, draw ships. Yeah, this seems very simple in terms of your decision spaces are what resources are you going to get in what amount. But I think the colors here are the key to why that dice drafting will have some limitations and why going first does actually matter. And you do get to place both of your dice. So that gives you an opportunity to draft the 6 and then draft a small 1 so that you get to go below, but still get the cleverness and get the benefit of your big dice too. And also 5 and 6 are the same weight here, which is interesting because then the 5s are the most valuable pieces on the board. Like 5s will be drafted before 6s because it will give you a smaller sum, but the same benefit. And that'll just, give a slightly different feel, even though you're still, might as well be a 6, right? Like there is one face of the dice that is the best face, and that is the 5. I wish this objective was clearer in the rulebook in terms of what is going to give you the bulk of your points, right? Like that's something, it seems like it will be the buildings. Cool, colonists boost your ship stats, so there's ways to boost all of your stats as you fight the pirates. I think the pirate push your luck will be more fun than I was expecting it to be. Score prestige for each card you've played in your colony. Ship, people, building. Okay. You all have your own secret goal. And for buildings. So everything's going to get you points in some degree. You want to build those things. You want to either get the point things or contribute to your engine. Seems like a definite fine engine building aspect of it. I really do like the modular board. I think that's great because the colors of the dice will change every time. Not that I feel will have a huge significant factor, but what actions are beside each other will have a significant factor. And I think it's going to feel really good to place that 5 dice, to draft that dice in a way when the dice come out and there's a spot that needs red and purple and there's only one purple dice out there and it's a 5 purple and you draw that as your first one and you don't even have to worry about taking another small one. Like those instances will be pretty fun. Okay, shipping is 15 to the US, so 64. 18 to Canada, so Australian 29, so just under $100 for me. I think this looks good. I do think this looks good. I think it looks a little bit expensive for my tastes. It's not blowing me away, but I think if I played it, I think it would be absolutely a solid game. Like I anticipate this being like a 4 out of 5 because I think its parts seem like it would work together decently well. That would be my guess. That's my guess rating, and then you'd have to play it and see. But it seems nice. So that finishes Friday, March 28th at 2 p.m. if you're interested. Next, we are not covering as well the Champions of Midguard, the 10th Anniversary Edition, because inexplicably they also decided to use the $1 pre-pledge. Grey Fox Games jumping on board the FOMO. Even if they didn't, I wouldn't be interested in this whatsoever. I have Champions of Midguard, and it is on the cull pile. The next time I do a purge and give away or sell a bundle of games, I'll be getting rid of that one specifically. I played it again recently as a substitute for Lords of Waterdeep, because that's basically what it is. It's a lightweight game of that, and I thought, you know what? Lords of Waterdeep is way better. I was introducing a newish gamer to it as well, and they were meh about it. I remember being meh about it the few times I tried it previously, and then I was meh about it in that moment. I don't really care that there's an expansion that fixes it, because I don't care about the parts that it fixes. It makes your misses worth something, and I just go, whatever. The flow of the game is fine, but I think Lords of Waterdeep is much better, and so would not recommend this whatsoever, even if it was not a $1 pre-pledge. But it is $1 pre-pledge, so why would I ever care about it? Clearly, they need the $1 pre-pledge to get people to forget that it's just an okay game. Let's move on to the Thief's Market, an I cut, you steal game of greed and thievery. I like these components that I'm seeing, so maybe this will be good. These are the types where I really hope that it'll be a slick, small little game. I like the components for sure. I mean, it looks like they're having a good time. I don't know what they're doing, but they're all excited about it, and now they're getting even more excited about it. They're definitely doing things there in that video. What? And they're pointing. Oh, and now there's the high split screen, and they're cheers. They seem to. You know what? I'm sold. Those people seem to have had a really good time. They had a great look. Look at all the fun times they had. What were they doing? I don't know, but it looks cool. Yeah, this is the pick. This is the pick. Pocket game. Okay, let's see if they actually tell us what the game is. The stealing mechanic is so fun. Yeah, well, tell me how. How to play. Split the loot. Take as many items as you want from the middle, or steal someone else's pile of loot, returning one item back to the middle. Oh, I see. So if you're playing with multiple people can probably steal in a row. That's fun. And so if I take 4 dice, then at the end, if somebody else is left with 4 dice, they have to steal from one of us. So in a 3-player game, that can be very funny, because then you want to steal just less than the person before, so that their pile gets stolen and they're left with nothing. And then you build your team, use your gems on your dice to hire new accomplices, purchase powerful items, gain fame and fortune, gain points, stash gold coins. On future turn, you can use the coins to purchase new cards. Yeah, that makes sense. Pull off epic heists. Be the first to steal 3 relics at the end of the game, have the most points to be crowned the world's greatest criminal mastermind. So, you know what this reminds me of? This seems like a much better version, sorry Giles, of One Last Score. I had a patron who sent me this who was really enjoying this game, the One Last Score game, and I found that it was okay. It's another one of these sorts of games. I'll come back to you for a second. This one's another one of these sort of games where you draw cards, they have random effects on them, you choose to hold the random effects or play the random effects. There are jewels that you're fighting for in the middle, but one of those jewels is worth like 30 points and the other ones are worth like 4. So you want to save up for the big one, but then people can throw down the blocking cards and like stop your turn, or take cards away from you as you build up. It was okay, but it was a lot of, and I'm very appreciative to having been sent it. This is me talking about it because he wanted people, he really enjoyed it, and so wanted a lot of people to know about this game and enjoy it. So this is me shouting it out. But this seems like a more gamified version of that premise, which, read the rulebook, yes please. I want to see if I've interpreted this correctly. Oh, sweet. Shipping, flat rate for all pledges, $8. And then Canadian backers, click here to pre-order any pledge from our partners at Board Game Bliss. So you don't have to worry about the shipping? Come on. The retail edition, $30? $28? Okay. Great partnering. There's a big market. Have to play with 3 players. 10 dice. Interesting. So you can take from the middle, or if you don't have anything in front of you, you can steal, but you have to return 1 piece to the middle as well, which is also an interesting tactic, because you don't get exactly everything. You want to take stuff in a way that if someone stole from you, they wouldn't be left with anything good, and you could scoop up what's left in the middle. Yeah, I think this has potential for sure. And then whoever currently has a first player token can purchase cards in the display, so that's why the first player token is also added in. And these cards let you turn other cards into wilds, right? Transmuting, Gizmos-esque. Cool, and then you gain points if your dice have had a little owl on them, and coins if your dice had a little coin on them, so there's different sides of the dice as well. Oh, just owls and coins, so they're just coins specifically. I thought it was in addition to the gems, which might be cool, but clearly there's 4 gem types, and then those other 2 sides of the dice. I like this market addition too. You're refilling the market. You're adding the same amount of market to it. At the end of the round, if any players purchase a 3rd relic card, they win. You know what? I think that's quite nice. I think this has a lot of potential as well. I like the I cut you choose idea, but the fact that you can white Christmas, white elephant, bad Yankee swap. Yankee swap! Yankee swap! Your dice around. I think that's great. I also think for us Canadians, that's awesome that you can just pre-order it from Board Game Bliss, which is here in Toronto for me. So no shipping to consider. Really, I could just get it for $27.36 plus tax. So $30, that's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, I honestly, I want to buy it just because that's such a brilliant partnership, and they're saying, listen, we've already set up the retail pledge for you. We've already set up a group buy for you. Yeah, remember when I said you don't have to support every game from a creator? I don't know. Put your money where your mouth is, I guess. I thought Barnyard also looked good too. I remember that from their previous fair. So sweet to see. That's cool to see them partnering. I closed the tab and I lost my train of thought. If you're interested, that finishes Friday, March 28th at 6 p.m. Great job. I still have so many tabs. I have so many tabs to go. All right. Next up, we have Companion Quest. Befriend companions, roll and modify dice, and overcome quests in this fast, strategic co-op adventure for 1 to 4 players. Oh, right. It's a co-op game. Don't forget it's co-op. All right. I think this will be okay. It looks like you're going to roll your dice, and then you're going to assign it to quests or building up companions that you can use on your turn for ability. It's only $25 though, or $35 if you want the expansions, which will get you a wild shiny dice and some legendary foil cards. Besides, don't you want to make friends with a creature named Goo Goo? I do. Oh, so you just get to take whatever dice you want. It's not like they're even bound to your companions. So you just say, there's some blue quests out there. I'll roll some blue quests and hope that you roll well. I like that. It's just an opening page spread. Is there anything else to this? Nah. On your turn, you roll your energy cubes and you use them by solving portal problems. Oh, I see. So the base colors, the primary colors are going to be 1 point of action points to take that dice, and then the secondary colors are going to be 2 points of action. And then your gnomes can help mitigate. Nailed it. Intuited. Oh, that's some intuiting. Gnomes always begin with 3 energy points, so you're going to get the cascading effect of getting more and more dice. It seems fine. Doesn't seem like something I'm actively eager to seek out, but I think the price is right. $25 seems pretty good. $37 for Canada, and then $14 shipping to the US, $16 to Canada. So for me, it would be like $55 for this game, which would give you a bunch of dice, give you some cute creatures. Sure. I just don't think the gameplay is going to be all that interesting unless you have smaller children, let's say. Or if you only like really, really lightweight games. Seems fine enough. If you like dice rolling and trying to modify them just slightly, doesn't seem like there's going to be any puzzle here, but it still looks like will be an enjoyable time to interact with, right? No complicated puzzle doesn't necessarily define the benefits and purpose of the game. So yeah, if this seems exciting to you, check it out. The finish is Friday, March 28th at 11 p.m. Moving along, this only has 5 days to go. How you doing? I thought, let's look into it. I'll see if it's any good, and then I'll tell you. Sudds and Malone, Detective. Well, I'm going to tell you anyway, because I'm just going to talk while I look at it. So you're screwed. Should cut this. I'm not going to, because it seems interesting. It seems cute. Sudds and Malone, detective solving crimes in 1938 New York. Join Sudds and Malone Detective Agency as you navigate the shadows of New York City in this thrilling noir board game. I think it has the potential to get over the line, so they're working hard. It seems like they're working hard to try to finish it up. Oh, and it's the person who did transmissions as well. I thought one looked good. Wow, this isn't doing that well, but let's take a look. Let's see what it's like. I mean, come on, Sudds and Malone? Fantastic name. That's where the coffee's cold and the cases are hot. This game's got dice drafting. But here's the rub. That isn't a gangster term. So you need your wits. A little persuasion goes a long way. Each color's a one-shot deal. Maybe even spend cash to sharpen your skills and stay a step ahead. See? Or gotta jump on the day and pick up a lead. See? Every peek behind the curtain brings you one step closer, see? Every move takes you deeper into the mystery, see? Crack the cases, see? And connect the clues, see? Make some hunches, figure out who's pulling the strings, see? It's a game of cat and mouse, brains and guts. Sudds and Malone. Think you got what it takes, partner? Eh? Well, come on over to Sudds and Malone. I mean, I retain none of that there's some dice drafting. I don't know, we're all trying to solve the case first. The detective edition, see? She walked into my office like a cat on a hot tin roof. Oh, wait, it was a cat on a hot tin roof and I realized I was a mouse. Get out of there, Malone. Get out of there. You've told me nothing about the game. Thank goodness there's a rulebook. Place the board in the middle of the table. If you're living in New York City in the 1938, how did you get this? You're a time traveler. Contact me with the winning lottery numbers from the past. Wait, I'll give you the winning lottery numbers and you can send me a bankroll in the future. The 4 spaces next to the Flim Flam deck is called the conspiracy. I was talking recently about rulebooks and how what makes it difficult, and it's all like the different terminology that people will throw in that you have to learn a new language of what things mean. But now I will always reference this if I remember, which I probably won't. The Flim Flam deck. You can't get more nonsensical than that. We're Sudds and Malone, gumshoes with a nose for trouble. There's a conspiracy squeezing in the Big Apple, and we're neck deep in it. The second we got a whiff, we knew we'd crossed the line. No friends, no favors, and the city's no ally. Pound the pavement, rattle the snitches, dig up the dirt. Stay sharp, stay ahead, or at least don't fall behind. The score's important, sure, but the name's what we're after. Who's pulling the strings? Who's really running the show? Ah, that's full screen now. I wondered why that circle was. Oh dear. Who's really running the show? Not me. On your churn, choose one die from the dice pool. You must choose each color only once per round, and you may choose your personal die. So you get one white, one black, one gray, and your personal die each round. So you'll take your personal die last. You don't really need to choose it from the dice pool now, do you? Place the chosen die on your player board. The value of the die determines the actions you'll take. Oh, okay, so maybe it does depend on what your dice is. You know, you're guaranteed an action. That sounds fun. So here's the actions. The office, improve your dice actions. Calendar, gain money, peaks, and snitches. Investigate, move, and gain evidence. Flim-flam, gain flim-flam cards. Take cases, gain case cards. Moxie, reload your bullets. Bullets let you modify your dice. A one value die is used to improve your dice actions, moving up a number of spaces on your player board. The number of times you can move up is shown by the position of your marker in the office column on your player board. Then you move your office as quickly as you can, and then you move everything to the top in one fell swoop. For your other actions, seems like that's the strategy. A two value dice is used to move days on the calendar. The number of days you can move is shown by the position of your marker in the calendar column on your player board. Yeah, remember your office one improves people. So every time you move on the calendar, you get stuff. Money, snitches, stitches, anyway. A three value die is used to move your detective badge around New York to collect evidence and chat with snitches. The number of locations you can visit is shown by the position of your marker in the investigate column on your player board. Yeah, so do the office first. I dislike when it's immediately apparent as to what the optimal strategy is. Flim-flam, take cards. These are little mini objectives that you're going to complete. Or no, they're not. They're bonuses, but you have to pay for all your bonuses. Take a case. So you're just gathering resources in this game. That's essentially what you're doing. Aside from all the theming of it, there's a way to improve your tracks, to improve your actions. There's a way to get a bunch of resources, and then you can spend those resources to get more resources, or turn in the stuff that you've grabbed. Yeah, it seems fine. I like the dice drafting aspect of it. I like the constraints in the dice drafting. It is $65 Canadian, $45 US. Shipping is going to be $15, so it'll be $60 to get this to your game, to your table rather, to your door. Sure, it doesn't seem bad by any means. It's just not a $90 game for me. You know, I'd have to pay $90 for it. Certainly not interested. I hope it crosses its goal though. I think it is definitely better than a number of things that I've seen. Better than Companion Quest. Way better than Companion Quest. But Companion Quest has the price point to match it, right? There's a similar idea of rolling dice and seeing what you get. We've had a lot of dice drafting as a theme this time around. And this, for it being 45, especially when you compare it to the Great Harbor at 49, or 55 rather. Oh, retail price 55, US 49, right? I think the Great Harbor, even though Sudds and Malone gives you that great art and theme, I think Great Harbor mechanically is going to be a lot better. But if this interests you, check it out. The finish is Friday, March 28th at 11:59 p.m. Moving along to Point Galaxy and Propolis. Propolis. Is that like bee Propolis? Is it a bee town? Fast and fun games for everyone. From the team that brought you the smash hits Point Salad, Calico, and Cascadia. Wow. Verdant. Shade. What shade? I thought it was Propolis. For like if it's bee Propolis. I thought it was Propolis, but I guess it's Propolis? Yeah, both American and British say it's Propolis. Learn something new every day. One of my favorite new words that I learned the other day, well, about a month ago, I suppose. I was at the ROM. Maybe I've already said it. It's apotropaic, which means like the warding off of evil, which I wanted to pronounce apotropaic, but it's actually apotropaic. All right, let's look at Point Galaxy. I love Point Salad. Point Salad's awesome. So interesting. So it's like a new take on Point Salad. Cool. It's gonna be great, but also probably for a retail purchase. Great. It's very Splendor-esque with worker placement, people placement. Okay, there's a small area control element to it. Probably won't ever factor in realistically. I mean, it will, but like it's not going to be something that you're going to worry about. But it is neat. There's going to be these worker placement spots. You're going to place your beeples on it. And then when they're all full, whoever has the most on it will take them back and they'll get a wild resource. But the other people leave their people, and then they can just drop one beeple and have the wild resource, which is just going to bounce from player to player. So I'm really not that concerned. Point Galaxy is going to be awesome. Point Galaxy seems great. It's the exact same thing as Point Salad. You're going to take either the back of a card or 2 face-up cards, which are planets, but you have to, there's just some additional constraints on them, it looks like. You have to put them in a sequence, either ascending or descending or something, and rather than the Point Salad goals applying to all of your tableau, this one applies to just one specific row. And so you're trying to build out these specific solar systems and not go too far in the objective route. Yeah, Point Galaxy seems great. I imagine it's... Oh, a print and play for both of them. It's $10. That's great. Nice. Yeah, Point Salad Kickstarter edition. I mean, what does the Kickstarter edition do right now? Here are the promos. Some 4 rocket tokens. Not necessary. And then in Propolis, 12 structure landscape cards, 4 starting structure Queen's Palace cards. Sure, just little mini expansions. Is that worth the shipping to you? These are estimates in the US, $9, the copy of 2. And they're shipping both of you. They're saying, listen, you're paying the same shipping if you get 1 or you get 2, so you might as well get 2. They're both $20. Both are a great price. I still think that retail will be cheaper. Point City, they're going to all be around that $27, and it should be widely available at retail. I don't see any reason why you should get either of these at Kickstarter right now, because they will be dropping at retail. That being said, Flat-Out's a great company. Both of these games are going to be great. I can already tell. Definite hits. Point Galaxy is just going to ramp up the fun of Point Salad. Point Galaxy is what gets me more excited. Let's see. Do I need to know anything more about Propolis? No, the other thing that I didn't talk about, which is interesting, is that your beeples are a resource, which is fun. That you have to return your workers to the supply, and so that'll be an interesting thing to balance out. And then also, it'll be fun to, like Splendor, to have that chaining resources together, to have those permanent resources working for you as well. So if you're interested in that, check it out. Both of those are going to finish on Saturday, March 29th at 12 a.m. Moving along to Rome, Fate of an Empire, the Deluxe. Ooh, solo game of the month, but this one, it's Deluxe. Reprint and Deluxe Edition. Aha. I remember this, I think. I love this. I find Gabe Barrett so charming. Gabe, I think you're very charming. I think Gabe Barrett would do well on Survivor. That's what I think. I think he's got the non-threatening, very friendly attitude. Polls really well with me. He's like, listen, people wanted more room so they could sleeve their cards. Contrary to popular belief, you can actually fit the game back in the box. It does fit. And I just know the sorts of comments that he's probably getting. Like, doesn't fit. I'm like, well, was it open when it was sent to you? Then it fits back in the box. Cool. Love this. I love this. That's a great video. Just to tell the story of Rome, why they're... Oh, okay, I know what this game is. Yeah, look good. I needed to see the visual, and now that's jogging my memory. It was back in April 2024. If you want to go listen to what past Chris thought about it. Did I think it looked good? Yes, of course I did, because honestly, I've thought all these solo game of the month have looked really good. I've thought that the price has always been a great draw to these things. They feel like well-defined ideas consistently, and apparently this is the best one of the bunch from last year. This is why you wait until the reprint. You can cut the wheat from the chaff, as the expression goes, that I certainly understand, and I'm not going to think about any longer. We're just going to keep on going. But I love this. This is just, hey, you asked for it, we'll make it happen. They're giving triple layer boards, so that it's double-sided if you want to change the orientation, which to me feels like such a indication of care towards your audience and towards your user base, and I really, really love that. You could easily do double-sided and just go horizontal, right? That would be a way to cut cost, but because there's people who do it vertical or people who do it horizontal, depending upon table space, I think that's awesome. And it's great to do a reprint for people who missed it. Now that you know, that now you can see that this is the best solo game of the month. You can say, hey, this is the best one. Go check it out and see what else can happen. And they can offer you card sleeves because the cards are a different shape and it was hard to find the card sleeves. It just seems lovely. Here's how you play. You play a card for movement and you move the leader pawn on this grid, essentially. You drop influence tokens on developments as your leader moves. and spend them to activate actions. You can pay gold to buy cards from the market, a shifting market right here. Build a development by playing attribute cards from your hand, and then you can also download the rulebook. That was it. Well, I looked at Chris of the Past from episode 135. Instead of looking at this rulebook, I mean, I can look at it again to see if there's anything that's changed. Probably has changed. Probably has gone through some reviews since then. It was a pretty hefty rulebook. The meat and potatoes of it are the color of your card. You're going to play a resource associated with that card to do the bonus secondary part of it, or you're going to do the main part. You're also going to have to navigate on your big old grid. I think their image of this is worse than what it was in the past, because you're supposed to have a 5x5 grid. You start with your capital in the middle. Up top, there'll be troops that you have to take out. The bottom will be the things that you can generate, so you have to balance going back and forth, activating some things down below, etc. You can also get the influence tiles, which will allow you to activate those specific locations, or, you know, upgrade them so you can flip them over or build things upon them, boosting up cards from the market, either to boost your hand of cards or your developments, essentially. Yeah, not flipping them over. Well, maybe flipping them over. I imagine that you could flip them. The print and play is $5. The deluxe all-in is $69, which is fair because you're getting dual layer boards, you're getting neoprene mats, you're getting chunky tokens, etc. You can just get an update pack for $15, which is great, and then $25 as the reprint. Is that cheaper than before? Maybe not. No, I know conversion was 33 last time. Yeah, so it's 36 because $1 is worse. Or you can just get the deluxe version for 39 if you don't want the neoprene mats, I think, because the neoprene are going to jack up the price. It's really cool. Shipping is still $5 to $6. It has not increased from last year as well. Looking back on the past episode 134 was Millennium Blades. That was that episode. It's kind of fun. Always fun to go back in the past to, you know, when life was simple. And then there's a great increase of shipping depending upon what you get. Yeah, I think it's really cool. I'm thrilled that it's been getting good reviews. Said it was an 8.2 on Board Game Geek right now. People are really enjoying it. So if you like chunkier solo games where you're expanding your empire, where you're building buildings, you're managing your resources, and you have to build your empire and choose your actions effectively, seems like it would be a fun time. Again, a great price point. That finishes on the 29th at 12 a.m., so in the early morning of Saturday. Also in the early morning Saturday, we've got Bull Shark, the bluffing game with a bite. A high-energy card game of strategy and bluffing, family-friendly, beautifully illustrated, and packed with shark-sized fun facts. Let's see what this project Kickstarter loves is all about. Oh, it's Bull Shark is bullshit. So it's just a themed deck of Bull Shark. It just is like first person to lie correctly 3 times. I would pick spicy over this, which I don't think is very good at all. I would pick cockroach poker over this. I assume that there are some extra powers that happen. There's an action cards that give you advantages, so at least it takes out some of the reliance on bluffing. It's $20 for the cardboard pearls, or $38 for the real pearls. You get actual real pearls. Right, that makes sense. Hoard the Hams was this YouTuber's take at the attacking card game, and this one is just, hey, can I get my audience to pay me money again? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. That finishes Saturday, March 29th at 2:59 a.m. We're moving on because that was fine. To this one, Cosmos, the infinite expanse of the cosmos, brace for collisions and avoid the tricks. Sure. It's a trick-taking game where you avoid taking tricks. Yeah. The collision system, same ranking card conflicting, so there's just a suit priority. Each player takes a turn by playing a card from their hand. Player who has the best card takes the trick. The goal of the game is to take the fewest tricks. That's it. One suit is called the black card, which has special effects and special conditions for being played. Oh, so if somebody plays the black card, then you can also play black cards. That's the key. So I kind of like that. It gives you control over making people win tricks if someone would have had to follow suit. So it makes card counting less of a thing, I would think, because you just go, well, now you can play the black cards. I don't know. How much are you? $23, limited to 100 backers, or the standard pledge, $25 Canadian. And then also, if you play a card with the same rank, because you're out of suit, you can force other people to turn their cards over. So it's just it's a way that you can really control who wins tricks in a trick-taking game. If you're looking for that in your trick-taking game, you can check this out. I don't think it sounds that interesting personally. I think that element of control could soon become an element of randomness, and you can just really get screwed over by the composition of your hand in a way that just playing Wizard, which is better. But if you're interested in that, check it out. The finish is Sunday, March 30th at 10:59 a.m. I'm not going to cover this, but I'm including it just in case you are interested in it. I'm not interested in it, as well as another big, complicated hex encounter system. If you're a big old war gamer, you can tell me if this is any good or not. This is 1811 Albuera, 2nd edition. The famous Napoleonic battles depicted in lavish historical detail using the 2nd edition of the innovative fixed bayonets tactical system. See, that's a system where if you break your bayonet, you can actually fix your bayonet, rather than just staring down at your bayonet, weeping until the enemy comes over and smushes you with their Titan foot. That took a turn. I don't know. I assume that's what it is. Or it's where your bayonets stay in one position, a fixed position if you were, and you cannot move your troops from that position because they are too busy grasping on, just really holding on to that bayonet. You're fixing that bayonet in front of them and just getting ready to stab somebody with it. They got the bayonet and they're ready to poke you, or they're ready to shoot you with it. You can shoot with a bayonet, right? It's the bayonet's the thing that's attached to the end of your rifle. Am I wrong? Not bayonetta. Yes, a bayonet is a knife, dagger, sword, or spike-shaped melee weapon designed to be mounted on the end of a barrel of a rifle. Okay, thank goodness. This is a relaunch campaign with a limited print run and a lower funding goal. It's got its low funding goal, so check it out if you want. I think we've gotten all we can from it. Next up, we have Cat Packs 3. There was another cat pack. Give your cats a change of scenery and enjoy some time at Meow Resort. So Cat Packs is, I don't know how this is done so well compared to their other games, that they keep on printing things. The cost must be incredibly low. All or None Games did Hidden Arc, which I'm quite a fan of. I enjoyed it. I haven't played it in a year. But that's like a lot of games, I guess, when you got a big collection. It's very simple. Each card has dots around the outside, and you want to lay the cards down correctly in a way that the pattern makes the most sense. I've never thought it looks interesting, but apparently there's the third version of it that people want, so you can check it out if you want. That's Sunday, March 30th, in case you didn't hear. I keep getting these notifications because I backed Hidden Arc, and Kickstarter's like, you back something by that creator, don't you want to back another thing by the creator? And I said yes, but not Cat Pack's Meow Resort. Meow Resort? Like, is that a pun on something? It's not like Last Resort. No, I think it's just a resort. That's just a Meow Resort. All right. There we go. Let's move on to this one. Summoning my new BFF Satan, the relaunch. Are you ready to compete to make new friends? In this game, you will compete to make friends with a monstrous creature. Now, normally I wouldn't cover this because look at the funding goal. It's not going to fund, and it probably won't fund. Somebody in the Discord dropped it twice, and the second time they were like, or maybe the first time they said, what the heck is this? And so maybe it was just like a joke thing. And then the second time they said, look at this cute game. So I think that they like it. I think that they're supporting it. So because of that, I'm looking into it. Because again, I do this for the community. And if the community is interested, then I am interested. So I don't know what this is going to be, but we're going to look at it. Presents to you the most satanic and hilaric game ever. The most hilaric game. Summoning my new BFF Satan. Plague guy. 10 plus years. Okay. Make friends with the darkest and most controversial creatures in any mythology. Management, crafting, and deck building. Only the meanest will come home with their most terrifying friend. I gotta tell you, this doesn't look good right now. But they do have a rulebook, so that's nice. You have to perform various rituals, befriend various idols. Move the idols towards you. Oh, so it's like a tug-of-war style game. Okay. Right, yeah, you move them towards you if it gets to 5. So you're doing a tug-of-war 5 times. Alright, so you're going to be playing cards, paying for their cost. Put the ritual in the countdown by placing it on the countdown card and the corresponding number of turns. I don't know what that means. Oh, there's the countdown card. Essentially, you're paying a cost for cards that will drag these people closer to you or away from you for some reason. And then you're pulling from the artifacts and the market to level up the amount of cards that you can play to drag them over. You need to get 3 in number 5 all at the same time, not even just once, which sounds horrendous to me. It's like, oh, I'm at 2 at 5. Okay, I'm just going to get drawn out. So the game's going to also end when like the artifact deck runs out or something like that. I don't know. If it put in the comments why you like it. I guess I'll if you want to support it. This just seems like not good whatsoever. I don't. And it's €49. 77 Canadian. It must have been a joke. Was it a joke? It had to have been a joke. If it's not a joke, tell me why you think this is worth anything. Because I just feel like it does not look interesting whatsoever. It's way too expensive. It's more expensive than almost anything we've covered so far. We've actually had some really good prices this week. This might be the best priced week, but it is certainly taking a hit with this. That's all I have to say. Woof, double woof. So that finishes Sunday, March 30th, or it's going to get canceled. No, don't do it. Don't do it, or tell me why you're excited about it, because I just think it seems absolutely inane. But we're going to move on to this one, Bark Magic, the Ultimutt edition. The spell casting, dice battling card game returns with more sorcery, relics, wizards, and modes. Okay, let's check it out. Oh, because it's like dark magic. It's a double pun. Take notes, Meow Resort. All right, that told me nothing. You're going to race to dig up ancient relics by competing in dice-based battle. Enhanced version, the original Bark Magic, which I'm sure I covered at a certain October 2021. Well, maybe it was early days enough that maybe it, yeah, I think it was early days enough that I must have missed it. Don't feel like I missed much. How to play. Spell casting hand management, 2 to 4 players. Choose your wizard, select your dice, set their spell circle to 2. 5 spell cards are dealt out. The lead wizard begins the action phase. You can perform 2 actions, play spell cards, gain MP, and dig for relics, because you're a dog. Strike spells happen immediately, while focus spells are set for later. Once you reach 7 MP, you can dig, or by using spell cards. So you're choosing, are you going to buff yourself, or are you going to save it to dig for a relic? And then you're all going to fight each other, but you don't get to choose. It's Cosmic Encounter style, which takes the choice away from you. But that's fine, because it's just everybody gets some sort of damage. First player to get 4 gems wins. I mean, there's a benefit of getting spells and attacking each other. That seems fine. The price is 30 for the Ultimutt Sorcerer, or you can get it for 20. I guess it's nice that the price, surprisingly, is okay. Shipping is what? $5 to Canada. Import tax and duty free. Oh, we'll ship to the US for 6. Oh, this is a disingenuous table. It's not just $5. It's $5 additional to the $12 to $17 that they're saying. Might be. Who knows? Right? This feels very disingenuous to put this as a large table and not have this to be the equal size. That's shady shit. And also the game looks just fine. So I wouldn't really want to do it for $60, which is probably what it would run me. But if you're interested, that finishes Sunday, March 30th at 11 p.m. Moving along, we're not going to touch this one, Gudnak card game, because you guessed it, it is a $1 pre-pledge. Thanks again to Vault Boy for keeping track of this. Place a $1 refundable deposit. You can get 5 Eclipse variant alternate art cards, but they only come with any pledge for the core set, 39 or more. Imagine the look on your friend's face when they find out how cool you are. Whoa. No, I don't think so. Next up, this is the third one that hasn't funded that we are looking at. Normally I skip these, but I really am excited to check this out because I hope that it's good. This is Win or Die, a tactical skirmish war game. In this game, you take the role of commander, choosing one of the 5 factions, assembling your legion with units of various abilities, engaging in asymmetric battles in the fog of war. Plan your moves with foresight and fight for glory. Now, I need to double check this. So, I'm a bad person, and I had this email in my inbox since September, actually, about Win or Die. And I left it unread because I didn't want to give a canned response. I wanted to take time when I had time to like delve into it and give feedback on the campaign page, because one of the people behind this game is Hans Lee, who won the World Series of Board Gaming in 2022. He's the first winner of the World Series of Board Gaming, and like I wanted to take the time to actually look at the game and get excited about it, and then give them feedback on the campaign page. And, well, I've been busy since September. So, sorry, Hans, but we're going to look at it now. Absolutely, we're going to look at it now. I'm super stoked to check it out right now, and I hope it's good. I'm sorry for not responding to that email ever. That's just, you know those things where, like, I have messages that, I don't know, a friend sent me in, like, December that is definitely still unread. Sorry, Eric. Who was like, hey, yeah, how's it going? And I was like, yeah, you're meaningful enough to me that I really want to take the time to write a carefully crafted message. I didn't have the bandwidth to respond to it right now. So I'm going to leave it unread, and I'm going to get back to it. And I swear I'm going to get back to it. And I swear I'm going to get back to it. And then it's been 4 months, and you're like, how do I... It's been so long. It's got to have some really good content in it. What possible excuses could I have? Well, I had some good excuses. What possible excuses would I have? Clearly, it wasn't important enough, or... I don't know. It just happens. That happens to me too often, more than I would like it to, and it for sure does. But now we're looking at win or die, and I hope it makes it over the line. And well, actually, I hope it's a good game first, because I just couldn't learn another game at that point in time, but now I can, because I have to, because Crowdfunding Countdown needs to go out in 12 hours. Okay. Okay, I like that as a time tracker. Okay, yeah, that seems fun. It's a tactical competitive tabletop war game where you have that fog of war element with the war games. You have it with either, like, they reference Stratego, but I've seen it in, there was that Quebec battle one where they had the standing up tiles. I like this as a concept that you don't know what the troops are. Lord of the Rings Confrontation does this as well. You don't know what the troops are until you fight. And so even though you're facing off against a faction, the faction has like 10 different types of units it could be, and then you slot in like 7 of them, or 8 unique units to command. Oh, okay, because there's probably multiple, so it's 8 and 6, I think. Fog of War, yep. Innovative battle bases. Streamlined gameplay with integrated info displaying damage tracking, perfect for diverse pieces, waving goodbye to complexity. Okay, sure. That's just saying, hey, the stats are on the thing, which, yes, they absolutely should be. There's a bunch of different modes. Basic mode, recommended lineup, line of sight. Then there's the advanced mode where you include the war council, a custom lineup. Oh, okay, so you just choose, yeah. Zone of control, just adding in mechanisms as you go through. You need 2 sets if you want to do the alliance mode, so the team mode. Players take turns to plan to use their 7 command tokens wisely, which allows you to choose 3 actions. Well, wouldn't it be 3 command tokens? That's weird. Attack your enemies by rolling dice. Both strategy and luck are equally important. That's where you're losing people. People are like, luck? Oh, I don't want luck in my games. There's no luck whatsoever in my favorite game, Zombicide. Strategic choices. You told me there was luck in a dice rolling game? I've one word to say to you, and that's yuck. This is the time tracker that I like, so the longer that the game goes on, your fatigue will move up and you lose morale every time you take out their unit. So at a certain point in time, maybe only taking out 1 unit will be enough. Or you just need to have a unit lead on the players, which could potentially lead for some, striking and then turtling strategies. Could be interesting. Oof, this is why it's not doing well. It's a game that is charging almost a game with minis, prices for a game with minis for a game with tiny little standees. That's why it's not doing. Your pricing structure is not exciting to people, and they're not willing to take a risk. It's probably these battle bases, honestly, that'll probably cost that much. And they're integral to the game, so that's tough. It's a tough thing to... Rulebook, I want to look at the activation. Oh, I like this, yeah. Cards are a crucial part of the game. You need to familiarize yourself with the components. When did I mute that? Okie doke. Well, I muted myself a bit for this, but the basics of it, I don't know where I left off, so I'm going to cover, in case we missed it. You're going to have 5 different factions. You're going to have a little small thing that you slot in. I probably muted it because I started watching the shelf side of it. That's likely where I muted it. I just think it's way too expensive for what it is. The command counters, you can use your 7 command tokens. You can activate multiple people, which is cool. I don't know the precise order of which you can activate people. I like that it shows damage up top in terms of how much damage has been hit, or the health that exists. It looks like it's the health. I think it's more interesting if this has taken X amount of damage, because you don't know if you're attacking a giant 12 health tree or if you're attacking something else. I think that's pretty neat, but I just think it's way too expensive for what it is. And that's likely why that cost to game ratio is likely why it's not funding. I don't know if it will fund. It has 7 days to do it. I think that cost is going to be pretty prohibitive. 50-50 chance. We'll see next week if it's funded or not. But if you're interested, that finishes on the 31st at 12 a.m. Pour, win or die. I mute myself and I was talking for ages, and so I hope I didn't miss any valuable information. I think it looks fine. I don't think there was that valuable information. It seems simple, like a simple system. Line of sight seems simple, and I think you need that simplicity to get this to the table quickly. But ultimately, if you're not a big Wargamer fan, I don't think this is going to convince you to do it. It's a price point that should have minis in it, and you just have these battle bases, which are cool, but also, could you have done it with blocks and have it be cheaper? Each thing be a block of wood? I don't know. Probably not, because you have to slot in the different factions, so ultimately the cost is a little bit further up top. I don't know. Just doesn't feel worth it to me. That finishes on the 31st at 12 a.m. This is Medieval Trumps. It doesn't look good as well. It's a print and play. You have 8 cards, and you're going to put a card in front of you in these duels, and you're going to say, oh, I've got the spy. Then you're going to flip them over, and then you'll win a duel or something. It looks fine. It's a print and play. It is what it is. Okay, we're on to Ozob, which is a cyberpunk board game. Fight the system in this cooperative dungeon crawler board game, where the interesting part about this one, so far, what I've looked into it, other than these diagonal streets, which is different from a grid. Great job, Ozob. Very well done. That adds a lot of character when you've seen hundreds of dungeon crawlers. But there's also the concept of you can draw as many cards as you want on your turn. But if you draw too many, you'll take more damage. And I really like that as an idea, because sometimes you just get a bad hand. And so if you can just then keep drawing cards and potentially taking a health penalty, I think that'll create a very fun bunch of fun minis. How much are you running? 119. That feels pretty standard for a game with minis, which converted to Canadian is what? 179? 174. And then plus shipping, it's a $200 game, right? Most dungeon crawlers will cost you that amount at this point in time. Now, we have to think, is there anything about this dungeon crawler that makes it better than all the other dungeon crawlers you may have? I do like that card drawing thing. That does seem like the fun aspect of it. The point that it should be the shining point. I love this character design too. The scientist who's got extra arms that are going to shoot guns. Cool. The NDR Lolita. I like these character designs a lot. They're fun. I want to know if I can become one of the war roadies. For me, I just want to play with my roadies. I want many roadies wherever I travel to. This isn't your grandpa's dungeon crawler. Thank goodness. As far as I know, my grandpa was not a member of the war roadies. Well, actually, my grandpa was in the war, so he was a doctor. Lived till he was 100. 3 X's on the side of your cards and you're out. Upgrade your deck with better cards. There's many ways to become powerful. Cool. I like these tech trees. Dang, the character design on this is really good. Okay, I'm going to need to read the rulebook for sure, because it's not telling me enough. I want to know a little bit more about the campaign and the differences from using it as a campaign and not using it as a campaign. I want to know, I think they answered my question about the drawing of the cards. Love this as a rulebook. I'm surprised this isn't doing better than it is. Like, currently it's hitting all the great marks of a good dungeon crawler. Is there something about the campaign that I'm missing? Like, maybe all of this is AI art and the creators purposefully went out and ran over the pets of all the board game artists that exist, or something equally horrible. I like that you get stronger the harder you get hit, you get more dice. The cards that you're using give you 4 attributes: agility, strength, intelligence, charisma, which you can use for checks. You then roll those amount of dice. So if I have 3 intelligence, I do an intelligence check, I roll 3 dice. At the end of each player's turn, an event card is drawn. They'll spawn new enemies on the map, or other random things will happen. As you kill people, you get fame, which is essentially experience points. Ooh, I do like hitting these upgrade points. You add cards during the mission, which is fun. I really like that adding card element. Yeah, the only thing that people were saying is that they were worried it wouldn't fund because it was a new creator, but apparently the IP is good in Brazil. The other funny thing is, why back now? Because you can get the game. Yeah, it's a valid point. It is a very valid point. I love that you can draw as many cards as you want. You're only going to take 2 health if you get hit with 3 X's. I really like that. Okay, the actions you can take: moving, move up to 2 spaces. You can move additional space for every 2 agility points. Cool. Attack, spend an action to make an attack. Then total your strength attribute, roll that number of dice. Spend adrenaline to reroll dice. Cool. When making an attack, you can use a weapon. You also get to roll additional dice. Get up, spend an action to help your war roadie or another war roadie in your space get up. If you really want to help the team, make sure that you get your roadies up. If you really want your roadies to be alert and at attention, spend an action to help your roadie on their way. Help them get it up. Or heal 2 life points if you're in a safe space. That's pretty much it. It's move and attack. The other stuff is using a weapon, which is also attack, and then getting up. So it's just moving and attacking. Like, those are your basic attacks. You can trade with each other. Minion in the same space attacks. The minions move after every action. This seems like a very high adrenaline dungeon crawler. I think you can have variable turns. You might draw 2 X's right away, and you go, okay, that's my turn. That's all I've got. But then the next turn that you get, it's going to be a supercharged turn because you know the X's are out of your deck. I think the campaign mode seems neat and interesting. I like how each character has different breakpoints for their health and adrenaline, encouraging you to take damage. Like if you took 2 damage here, you go boom, boom, you go all the way down in terms of using your adrenaline. So balancing that adrenaline feels nice. And you can play as Mama Guzzo. I think this looks good. I mean, I think it's expensive, but it's a standard price, I feel, for the dungeon crawler. Yeah, it's just a bunch of dice, some tiles, and some enemies. Really, like, shoot 'em and stink 'em. I don't know. Yeah, I think this looks good. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's a very simple system, but simple isn't bad. The rulebook was a delight to read through. I'm quite impressed by this. So if you're interested, that finishes on the 31st at 10:59 p.m. That was quite nice. Moving along, next up we have, I knew that there would be a game about edging that would rival or surpass the previous edging we'd experienced. We have Edge Quest. Strategy meets swordplay in this dynamic 3D combat board game. Sure, I only care about it because of the name, as does every member in the Discord, but still, let's check it out. Oh, these are actual, like, mannequins that you then just move their bits. This could be very interesting or like the worst fiddly game in the history of the world. Wild. Just wild. Enter the arena. Prepare for a dynamic 3D battle unlike any other board game you've played before. Use articulated action figures in combination with strategic cards to outmaneuver opponents in memorable cinematic battles. Your ultimate combat experience starts now. Okay. Pledge today. $75. Move like a duelist, footwork and positioning. There was a long time ago, before I started YouTube, I came across a YouTube channel of like a fencing YouTube, but they were doing an unboxing of a fencing game, and they were super excited about it. And I wonder if she would enjoy this, or how excited she would get. I don't know. The magnetic board and the magnetic feet are just incredible. Okay. All right. There you go, Bonds. Cool. So you draft cards, you keep cards, or you keep edge tokens, which provide key advantages, rerolls, I think. Then you can step, shift, reposition, jockeying for the best position before blades clash. So play action, roll some dice. Your opponent can do a reaction, roll some dice. I don't know why these cards flip upside down or move. Rank 1 acts first. Plays second, can turn the opponent's aggression towards them. I don't know. Feels like a duel. Let's look at the rule book. Then from most edge to least edge, players select a new rank token. Basically, the rank token is just who gets to thrust first, or attack, or however you want to talk about it. Get your bayonets out. You can also use edge to see what your opponent's doing before you react to it. I think the little characters are completely useless. Because all you're doing is saying, like, hey, I'm in this position. You have a positioning token on your mat. I mean, it's not really completely useless because it's like high point towards, high point away. It is a good representation of it, but I don't know. How do these cards work? Okay, so they're multi-use cards. You can just choose which one you want. Okay, so these are advanced cards. They're tactic cards, which lets you resolve a new 2-card decision. So you rotate them around. Generally, you're going to play the card in this right space, and then you'll move it to the left space. But you'll also then get to reactivate your ability. So you've done an ability in the previous turn. I think you get to reactivate them again, is what it looks like. I'm not quite sure. I see. So there are 2 different modes, or a couple different modes. One is to the death, where you actually have health points. So that's why there's a health point system here. I don't know. I think you have to be a real big fencing fan to get around this. Essentially, the cards are broken down to, is your token in this position? Yes, then you can play these cards, right? So it's moving these positions around and then playing these cards for both attack or defense. If you wanted Senjutsu, this certainly looks more interesting than Senjutsu ever did. It's a wild, wild game. $75, and then shipping is $33 to Australia, $22 to Canada, $16 to the US. So like $140 for these 2 little action figures that you can reposition. I love the magnets in the board. I think that's pretty clutch. But I think it is the perfect amount of silliness that I think anybody who's backing this, I think you are going to enjoy. Mechanically, the card play feels a bit obtuse in terms of learning it. I don't feel like I absorbed much of it at all, to be honest with you, but that's the amount of time that I want to look at it. You know, I like the idea of these cards that will persist back and forth. I like the idea of flipping the cards upside down. I don't think I'm going to really be paying attention to my opponent's cards. There's a lot of information to be considering of, hey, this is the position and it'll hit in this instance and this instance. And so when you're taking these cards and you're trying to pre-plan and think in advance, it's better to just discard it all and get as many edge tokens as you can. I don't know. It seems it's wild. It is definitely an ambitious project. Good for you, EdgeQuest. That finishes Tuesday, April 1st at 9 a.m. Moving along, we've got the Megan 2.0 board game table by Geek and Son. It's another board gaming table. Our most popular gaming and dining table is back. Save up to 30% on MSRP. So if you wanted to save money on a board gaming table, we have looked into this in the past, and apparently crowdfunding generally will be the better value. It is a better thing to purchase. If you are going to be purchasing a gaming table, you should wait until there is this deal, because whenever they're doing their pre-orders, generally pre-orders give you the best deal. So if you're interested in that, there you go. It's another board gaming table. There are many board gaming tables on the market, and this is one of them. Ooh, I almost missed this one. Next up, we have Flick Fleet. Box of Xeno flicks. I got requested to do a 5 reasons you should back Flick Fleet. I've covered Flick Fleet before. I think Flick Fleet is very funny. I think it is really funny. You flick your ships into position, and then you flick your dice at them. That's it. That's all. That's all it is. You have a fleet of ships, you flick them across the table, and then you flick a dice at somebody else, and you try to hit them and take them out. It seems like a very funny idea, something I would be happy to play, also something that I would never want to have in my collection, because I don't have a board gaming table. If you need a board gaming table for something like this, or else everything's going to go everywhere. Or, like Catacombs, you got to build walls around the flicking. Oh no, am I gonna have to get rid of Catacombs? No, I like it. I never play it though. I really never play it. But I like the insert that I made for it, because I gotta keep it. If you want the standard game that is much better than this all-in deluxe, yuck. It's 60 bucks Canadian, 32 pounds. I think this is such a funny concept. You know, as dexterity games go, I think it is a great idea. Shipping to the UK, 1 box is £4. US and Canada, 1 box is £12 or 12 bucks. Oh, the approximately converted approximately. I think it's a very funny idea. Ooh, the Rifter tears holes in space, linked by a wormhole, so you can flick yourself through a wormhole. All the different ships that you can flick across each other. I think that's very funny. Very funny, very cool. Let me know if you have it from previous campaigns, and if you play it, if you actually enjoy it, or if the novelty has worn off. That's what I'm curious about. I think the novelty could easily wear off here, but I also think it's very funny. So if you're interested in that, that finishes on April 1st at 9 a.m. Oh, baby, and we're here at our last campaign, which is a reprint, I think. I've seen Village Attacks before. I don't know how it plays, but we're going to figure that out together. Village Attacks, Grim Dynasty Reborn. The 1-to-5 player co-op castle defense war between monsters and mortals is back with a new Chinese-themed expansion under new management. Is that the Chinese-themed expansion? Under new management. We have taken over your business. Or they're saying under new management because we won't see of the previous created projects. Whatever the case, the village is attacking and management has changed. And if you want to speak to a manager, well, it's changed. Oh, you're the monster. It's like Keep the Heroes Out. I didn't realize that was the theme. Keep the Heroes Out. You stole this theme. Scoundrel Game Labs is bringing the fan favorite castle defense game back to Kickstarter to offer at-cost rewards to backers of the original campaign while helping more gamers discover the world of Village Attacks. Wow. In 2023, Grimlord Games went into receivership. Their assets were liquidated to pay priority creditors, and our company purchased their existing stock and intellectual property rights. Although this expansion was never made, we've done our best to provide value to the backers who were left holding the bag. Well, it's supposed to be holding the bag, holding the back. You can find a print-and-play version of the core game and expansion here. We are additionally providing previous backers with the options of purchasing the game at cost in the Pledge Manager. Nice. Yeah, so this didn't fund, and somebody else picked it up because they like the IP, because of mismanagement, because crowdfunding is inherently dangerous, right? Crowdfunding, you need to be aware if the company that you're backing is just one person with a company name, and oftentimes it really is. If they don't have that history of games being produced, or if their finances are in shambles. I still haven't read that Come On article. I know that they lost a bunch of money. Maybe they're going to scale back on producing stuff. I don't know. I need to read it because it's my job, and so I should be informed. But that's a class act. Class act to offer it at cost. They're not going to take a loss. Absolutely not. But you could get it at cost if you want it. Expansion is $59 though, if you're buying it now. The Grim Dynasty just adds in these additional monsters that you can take control over, and there's a tactician that could fight against you, so it looks like it'll up the difficulty. I understand that nobody enters into creating Kickstarters and board games to screw over their backers. Well, unless you're Golden Bell Games. But, like, even Mythic, I think, wanted to produce games, you know? They just were horrible at it. There was just tons of mismanagement in funds and financial costs that, you know, sometimes they can come out of the blue. And I imagine we're going to see a lot of costs come out of the blue with the insane tariffs being imposed for literally no reason. Well, there is a reason, but it's, you know, completely misguided and not grounded in the actual economics of how the world works. But it's a good reminder that these things can go belly up. And so if you're not backing, even reputable creators can go belly up, right? So it's not even as simple as don't back anybody who's producing something for their first time, or don't back companies with X amount of projects outstanding. You can do both of those things and you can still get burned. That being said, if you have Village Attacks, you might want this expansion. You can get the core game for $109, 158 Canadian, and then plus shipping. I have heard good things about Village Attacks. I think it seems like a fun, simple tower defense game. For this price, though, I would much rather the idea of keep the heroes out. Review, gameplay videos, how to play. Is there no rulebook here? I certainly hope not, because I am tired. And I want to get to editing and eating some food today. I don't think that there's a rulebook here. Hey, thanks, Grim Dynasty. Thanks, Village Attacks. That's fantastic, because now I don't have to read the rules. Oh, perfect. I mean, I get a sense, right? It's a tower defense. You're going to have asymmetric powers. They're going to keep swarming. You have to fight them off. Defend your castle. That's a high-level overview, the mechanics of which I don't think there are going to be anything that's particularly memorable other than the standard move, attack, defend, gain items, use the items, do a health check, trade, heal, right? All those sorts of standard things that we've seen many, many times before. But yeah, here's the shipping to get to Hawaii and Alaska, 71. To get to the rest of the world, 123 if you're in New Zealand. Stop getting crowdfunding games. I don't know what to tell you. If you're in Canada, stop getting crowdfunding games. This would be $200, which for my money, I would, just for the base game of this, I would much rather take the chance or look at Ozob for this. I think Ozob feels fun and dynamic and like clear, and Village Attacks, well, it's a reprint of a loved game, so it's got that going for it. It also doesn't have a rulebook, so what do I care? That finishes Tuesday, April 1st at 6 p.m. That is it for the week. That was a big week. And now every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing that I think is the most interesting, the thing that I would be the most excited to play, and the pick for you being the thing that I think if you got, you would regret it the least. But before we do that, I'm going to go through and do a little grunt down to remind myself of what has come before. Sure, absolutely not. ChatGPT told me I shouldn't back it. Unfortunately, absolutely not. Yeah, good deal. Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah, nah, meh, yep, and yeah. Yeah. No. Meh. Grab your bayonet. Meh. No. No. Absolutely not. Meh. No. Yeah. Who knows? Meh. Sure. And so a few choices there. A few choices. Interesting. This is tough. I know one of them for sure. I'm just deciding if that's the pick for me and that's the pick or the pick for you. It's probably the pick for me because you shouldn't get it right now. It should be the retail purchase. Ozob's making a case, but I don't think it's going to hit it. All right, I got it. Pick for me is Point Galaxy. For sure, the changes to Point Salad, which I already love, seems like it will deepen this game. I played Point Salad over the summer a little bit, and people were sort of fine about it. But I think this will really up the complexity as well. So if you wanted something that's a little bit more complex, Point Galaxy looks great. Propolis seems okay. And then the pick for you, I think, is going to be Rome, based around it being a reprint, it being the best of the previous year's worth of solo games. If you're a solo gamer, I think it is worth checking out. I remember this looking interesting in terms of the systems the first time around. It's a good price. Don't get the all in. Don't get the deluxe. No way. It's not a $100 game. But for $25 US plus $5 shipping, if you're a solo gamer, this one I think could be one to take a risk on. From the great reviews, from the reprint status, it has developed enough of a fan base to warrant it. I think the multi-use cards, well, not really multi-use. The cards seem fun, though. The market that you're going to be constantly improving your setup, I think that will give that haptic feedback of enjoyment of building your own place up while you fight people off. I think it does look cool. Yeah, I'm very happy with those choices. That's a pick for me. That's a pick for you. Those are the highlights of the week. And thanks everybody for being here. Sticking with it week after week. I really appreciate you all. Let me know what you're excited about. As always, I like hearing from you. My name's Chris George. I don't have a catchphrase, but I have a little rumble in my tummy. So, there we go. Eat some. But you don't have to. You can eat something and watch me in the next video. Do what you want. I don't care. Hope you have a good day. I mean, I do care. I do care. I care desperately. Okay, goodbye.